TV, Green Bay, Fox Cities, and the Lakeshore. This is Local 5 News at 6 in HD.
Brown County Public Safety, this is Amy.
Hi, Amy. My name is Justin Nickel. I'm calling. I just drove over the Leo Frigo Memorial Bridge. It seems it's like part of the bridge is sagging. It's like the third or fourth section up on the incline. Bit of a bump. It's a dip.
Concerned drivers calling 911 as they noticed a severe problem with the structure of the Leo Frigo Bridge. Nearly 200 yards of the bridge was sagging at about 5 o'clock this morning. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Aaron is off tonight. The Leo Frigo Bridge completely closed right now, forcing drivers to find an alternate route during the height of rush hour. We have team coverage for you on this closure. Local 5's Evan Krugel live in the heart of the detour. Heather Sawaski will bring us details on what Governor Scott Walker had to say about this incident today. First, though, Local 5's Melaine Wells live near the bridge to give us the latest on everything. Melaine?
Well, Tom, the 400-foot section of this bridge that is sagging is just over my shoulder.
All right, Melaine, thank you. Okay, as a result of all of this, Governor Scott Walker made a special visit to Green Bay after he learned about what happened on the Leo Frigo Bridge. Local 5's Heather Sawaski live outside the Wisconsin DOT office in Green Bay. Heather?
Tom, local and state officials are calling this a very significant event. Now, they say that the problem is being caused at one of the piers that's holding up the Leo Frigo Bridge.
You might imagine detours are in place now as both lanes of traffic on the Leo Frigo remain closed. Officials are advising you to take one of two alternate routes. For those traveling across the state, you're advised to go from 43 to 172 and then use 41 to get back on 43. Otherwise, if you are in the city of Green Bay, you can exit off on Webster, use Main Street and Velp then to get back to 43. Motorists heading south need to exit by way of Adkinson Drive and get back on from Webster Avenue. Those detours are going to remain in force until further notice. Local 5's Evan Krugel joins us live now along the detour route with the latest on that. Evan?
Tom, those are the designated detours, but those detours, of course, are designed to get drivers back onto the highway as soon as possible. And for a lot of locals, that's not the fastest way to get from point A to point B, and that's creating backlogs all across downtown. Actually, till about 20 minutes ago, there were about 36 cars waiting to turn left onto Monroe from Maine here downtown.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Wisconsin is one of 5 states making history tonight.
Same-sex couples now have the right to marry. The Supreme Court turned away 7 same-sex marriage cases in 5 states today. The decision allows the lower court rulings to stand in Wisconsin, Indiana, Utah, Oklahoma, and Virginia. It also means same-sex marriage will soon be allowed in West Virginia, North Carolina, Kansas, Colorado, and Wyoming. Once same-sex marriage is allowed in those states, it will be legal in 30 states and the District of Columbia. Here at home, Outagamie County faces an obstacle. Their marriage forms are not gender neutral, so they've had to find ways around it.
We're not going to be crossing over or writing over any sections. The Register of Deeds and Vital Records Office don't like crossovers or write-overs on vital records, so.
We have team coverage tonight.
Local 5's Jen Sullivan talked exclusively with gubernatorial candidate Mary Burke today, and she will also have reaction from Governor Scott Walker.
Melaine Wells talked with area church leaders to hear what they had to say.
We begin with Local 5's Terry Kovarik, who talked with several same-sex couples in Outagamie County. Terry.
Well, some Fox City same-sex couples have long waited for the opportunity to marry, and some have even gone as far as to go on the civil union registry. But now they can say, I do, legally.
Thank you, Terry. Well, the debate also continues at local churches. Religions are split on same-sex marriage. Local 5's Melaine Wells is live in Green Bay with more. Hi, Melaine.
Hi, Aaron. Well, unlike earlier this year when people could marry for a brief time at courthouses like the Brown County one you see behind me, when I spoke with people today, they believe that same-sex marriage is here to stay.
Melaine, thank you. Wisconsin's gubernatorial election is less than 1 month away.
And today's same-sex marriage decision has the candidates weighing in, and that includes an interview with gubernatorial candidate Mary Burke that you'll see only here on Local 5. Jen Sullivan is in the newsroom with that part of the story. Jen? Thank you, Jen. It's your turn now to sound off. What do you think? While the decision is a setback for those hoping for a nationwide ruling on gay marriage in the United States, it's an historic day for 5 states, including Wisconsin. We want your reaction. You can tweet us at WFRV News, join the conversation on Facebook at WFRV TV Channel 5, or email us at tips@wearegreenbay.com. We may read your post on the news. Wind gusts of nearly 50 miles an hour uprooted trees and downed power lines across the area this afternoon. The saturated ground caused branches to hit power lines, which cut power to thousands of customers. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Tom is off tonight. Residents left in the dark as crews fight to restore power across northeast Wisconsin. At one point, We Energies and WPS reported around 10,000 people without power. Right now, more than 2,000 residents are impacted in Crivets. Lakewood has more than 1,000 residents without power. Brillion has about 600 and Appleton has more than 100. Let's go now to Chief Meteorologist Luke Stampy in the Storm Center right now. Luke, what kinds of wind speeds are we talking about right here? Thank you, Luke. We are learning more about the 24 people arrested in an undercover sting to catch child predators online. Through our exclusive video, Local 5 is the only station taking you behind the scenes of Operation Aegis. From the online chats to the intense moments when suspects are arrested, it's the 5th sting of its kind in northeast Wisconsin and the most successful to date. It's a story you saw first on Local 5, and tonight we're digging deeper into who these suspects are. Local 5's Melaine Wells continues our coverage. Melaine?
Well, Aaron, we focused our investigation on the 11 people arrested in Brown County. They are from across northeast Wisconsin with addresses in Oconto, Bellevue, Appleton, Chilton, Howard, and more. While they all have different jobs and family lives, investigators say the one thing they all have in common is the intent to harm a child. We confirm that many of these suspects have posted bail, including Cameron Batty. If these suspects are convicted of using a computer to solicit a child for sex, there is now a mandatory 5-year term attached to that.
So, Melaine, you did some digging to find out how many suspects are actually convicted after one of these online stings. What did you find?
Well, when we looked over the course of the 5 operations, the team has a total of 84 arrests. So far, 23 people have been found guilty. There are more than 20 cases still in the court system, and of those, 7 people have entered no contest pleas to those charges. 1 person even pled guilty. Aaron, there's also roughly 12 cases that we really couldn't find many details on. Either those cases were dismissed, the charges dropped, or they were simply listed as unknown.
All right, thank you so much for your work on this. Thanks, Melaine. Well, local authorities are reaching out directly to school children to help fight online predators. It was one of many topics at a special presentation at Red Smith School in Green Bay. Police gave middle schoolers a breakdown of both the good and bad when it comes to the internet. Tonight at 10, we hear from the officers who are using Operation Aegis as an example. In continuing coverage now, a parent's worst nightmare came true for a Sheboygan family. Their 7-year-old daughter disappeared while walking home from school. After an all-night search, the young girl was found safe and sound. Now Local 5's Terry Kovarik reports all involved hope there's a lesson to be learned here. Thank you, Terry. Now, an Amber Alert was not issued for this particular case because police say it didn't meet all the criteria. An Amber Alert is only issued if law enforcement have reason to believe an abduction occurred. Investigators also have to believe the child is in imminent danger of serious bodily injury or death. And the child, of course, has to be 17 years or younger. In a Local 5 traffic alert tonight, if you're heading out in the valley right now, avoid parts of 441. The eastbound lanes on the bridge over Little Lake Butamore remain closed as crews clean up from a semi-crash. Investigators say a truck was heading east on 441 when it hit a temporary concrete barrier. Coming up, we talk prices at the pump. Both Governor Scott Walker and Mary Burke tackle taxes in the race for governor.